Welcome along to episode 869 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. On the way on the show, we'll be having a bit of a natter with Michael Smithen of the Fortunes ahead of the sensational Sixes experience arriving at the Grand. We also talk about Ben Fogel, about his appearance at the same theatre. Chesney Hawkes will be along to let us know about his latest album and forthcoming Birmingham gig. We'll also be talking to Michael Gunning and Duncan Goodhue, MBE, all about Swimathon 2026 and its 40th anniversary year. Lee Brady is along too, as we find out about Luke and Laney, which is on at the Stafford Gatehouse, and Chris Lockett from Castrol. Let us know about their documentary, Drive Me to the Moon. That's all on the way on the show this week.
Welcome to the Milk Bar. 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 For amazing music, brilliant stars, and a fantastic night of entertainment, look no further than the sensational 60s experience. It's the Grand Theatre on the 12th of April. To tell us more, I'm joined now by a man from the Fortunes, Mick Smithen. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, thank you. Very good. Yeah, it's a good night out, folks.
Absolutely. And this is music which not only is it classic to listen to on its own, but you'll hear so many songs which have influenced pop since the 60s.
Well, that's the truth. I mean, a guy much more intelligent than me said something a long time ago, and he said there's only five songs ever written, and he said three of them were written in the '60s. But you know what I mean, though, don't you?
It's that inspiration, that sound, and I mean, it is just so completely recognizable for exactly what it is, pure pop magic.
It is. I've been with the band now for nearly 44 years. But even now, if You've Got Your Troubles comes on the radio, I still get that little thing on the back of my neck. Do you know what I mean? That frisson of, I think there's only '60s music can do that to you,
It is
really.
the tingle. Okay, who's
It is, yeah.
who's sneaking around behind you?
This is Ricky. He used to drum with the Fortunes when our drummer was taken very, very poorly, and Rick stood in for us, and he went with all kinds of different bands after that, didn't you?
I
Vanity
did,
Fair
yeah.
and Marmalade. He played with everybody, so
Yeah.
he's one of
All these big names and all of this music that we are keeping alive today, and live is the way to see this. That's how it was done in the 60s, wasn't it? The live events were there to promote the single sales and to really to just sort of bring to people's homes and home cities this amazing sound.
That's great. That's perfect. Honest, that's right. I mean, Liverpool was the place. I mean, people used to go in their lunch hour, to the cavern, and then race back to work. But same thing happens even now. All the same people are turning up year after year after year. And funnily enough, when we do these big shows down at places like Butlins, you have the big '60s weekends. You get loads of kids all dressed up in '60s gear. It's just it'll never end. It'll never end, I don't think.
No, it is music which is going to surpass the generations. You say, people are coming again and again and again, and they're bringing new family members to the likes of the Grand, and they're enjoying music in what very often would have been the sort of environment that you would see. And yes, you've got the cavern clubs, but there were theatres playing host to this sort of sound back then, even.
Oh, definitely so. Yeah. When I first started, when I first went pro, it was just after the '60s. I was working with people like Del Shannon and Bobby V and the Marvelettes as they were coming back, after in the '70s, having all their hits. And we did all the old theatres. I mean, a lot of them have gone now, but yeah, it was a great sort of apprenticeship for me working in those theatres. And if somebody told me at 75 I'd still be doing it, I'd have called them a liar. But here I am.
Well, it's amazing music, though. That's the important part, and it keeps you young for definite. So, when it comes to the Fortunes catalogue, what is there that you're going to be sharing on the night?
Well, because there's so many acts on, it's such a great show. There's five acts on. We can only have about 25 minutes, so it's all the hits basically. You've Got Your
But,
Trouble, Here It Comes Again, Storm in a Teacup, Freedom Comes. All the hits. Yeah,
but
and there's I think
fortunately,
some.
music of this time was about 2.5 minutes per track, so at least you can fit a few in.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, yeah. We also stick a good ballad in there because that's what the Fortunes are always known for.
Mhm.
The harmonies. But I think there's something like 33 hits in the whole show. So it's a great night out, folks. It really is.
Absolutely. Brilliant tunes. And you've got great colleagues alongside you, Dozy, Beaky, Mick and Titch, the Trems. You've got Swinging Blue Jeans, Spencer James, Vanity Fair. So it is a truly unforgettable night. Just the array of hits all of those bands had. You can't move wall to wall in actual stardom.
Yeah, it's cleverly put together as well. It starts off very slow, but at the end, everybody's on their feet. It's just like it was in the old days. Everybody's on their feet, and everybody's happy as they walk out the door.
All the girls are screaming at you. It's just like the real thing.
All the old ladies, yeah, yeah.
Well,
Hey, when they throw the underwear now, it covers the drum kit, just one pair.
and at least it'll keep you warm in the winter months. That's what counts.
Yeah.
It is a sensational 60s experience. It's at the Grand Theatre on the 12th of April. 01902 429212 is the box office number. grandtheatre.co.uk if you want to use that newfangled web thing they didn't have in the 60s. And grab your tickets that way. It'll be well worth being there. I mean, Michael Smithen, have a fantastic time out on the road. I know you're loving the tour, and we look forward to having you in our city on the 12th of April.
We're looking forward to it, mate. One of the best theatres in the country.
This March at the O2 Academy, Chesney Hawkes will be there. He's there on the 20th, and it's going to be an amazing night of music. He's here with me now to tell me what's going on. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, mate. Doing very well.
Good
Okay, good to
stuff.
see your face.
Well, that's and yours too, but yours pops up all over the place all of the time. And whilst we know you for one particular song, yeah, but you've got a wide catalogue of stuff that your fans are enjoying and have done for many a decade now, which is probably quite scary for both of us.
Yeah, it does. It's quite amazing that it's been 35 years since I first put out that song. So yeah, here we are.
But you haven't aged any, which is the confusing part.
No, I have obviously a team of makeup artists and lighting here in my front room. So
It keeps you looking good. So, what is that journey like? Because, as I say, people who know you know a wide array of songs from you, and we're going to play another one of your fantastic numbers in a bit as part of our natter. But what is it that drives you with all of this, and how does this journey continue?
musically, I mean, it's I think really down to the fact that I still have the same passion about music as I did when I was a kid. You know, I can't pass a guitar without picking it up. I can't pass a piano without playing a chord of the day or whatever, and I still love it. You know, and it's like I never had a backup even then, and I certainly don't have one now. So I'm just I'm just carrying on as I started. You know,
The songs and your whole attitude have sort of put you into a warm space for everybody. You say Chesney Hawkes, and everyone goes, "Yeah, Chesney Hawkes. He's a nice fella."
well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe perhaps time kind of does that, you know, because it's certainly it's a funny thing when, you know, back in the old days, I definitely got a lot of stick from people, and I was kind of very uncool for a while, and then suddenly time goes by, and I guess it changes like a pop record that was, you know, that people, you know, liked in the early days, into kind of like after all these years, it's like almost a cult record, you know, which is a very weird feeling. But no, I'm obviously very glad of it, and the gigs have been incredible. You know, so many people have come in, and nowadays it's like a kind of an eclectic demographic because you know, I've done a few kind of, as you mentioned, a few reality TVs and like Big Brother and everything, and it's kind of it's brought some of the younger audience, like, so people that were there with me from the beginning now bringing their kids with them, which is amazing.
But I mean, your kids are probably as old now, nearly, as when you first started out in this industry.
They're older. I realized that today actually, that like my 20-year-old son is a year older than I was when I put out the one and only. So, and he's the youngest.
And have they had any inclination to work in the world of media in the same way?
Yeah. My youngest he has been my guitarist for a very long time now. He's not so much these days. He's got his own things going on, but yeah, he's an amazing musician, and has been on stage with me many times. My daughter is a singer, and my son is an actor. So yeah, I guess we're all in the business somewhere along the line.
And I think that's again, it's testament to how well I think after the initial teasing, the industry's been reasonably kind to you, hasn't it?
Oh, very much so. You know, it's all love these days. You know, obviously there's a few here and there, but mainly nowadays you know, I do get a lot of love, which obviously I'm very humbled by and very grateful for.
And that love will come in the shape of a set list you sing to your audience, and the fact they'll be singing half of it back to you. So tell us how that's going to sound, and the way the gig's going to work out of the O2.
Yeah, well, I'm actually really hoping that this one's going to be like a bit of a party night. I want people to, turn up, leave their inhibitions on the door, and just come and relive their youth. Really, that's kind of my plan. I'm digging into the old catalogue. I'm obviously going to bring out the old classics, including that one, and I'll pepper it with some of the new album, which people are beginning to kind of really like, listen to now, and maybe a few kind of bangers in between. So I think it's just going to be a really fun night.
Yeah, because I mean, Get Hold of Yourself. That's the single we're going to play in a mo. How does this fit in with the current musical landscape?
Well, I mean, it is a quite a contemporary sounding record, really, to be honest with you. Because I worked with a guy called Jake Gosling, who he discovered Ed Sheeran, so he knows what he's doing. And I mean, I'm very much of a kind of a classic songwriter type of guy, and just sort of write on an acoustic guitar or a piano or whatever. But Jake kind of like took it to a different place, and you'll hear the results here, I guess.
But it's from the album Living Arrows, and again another chance for you to share a bit of life, a bit of a story in your songwriting, and again also work with others and collaborate, which I think is something else that I mean you are known for.
Yeah, I mean, there's three songs with Nick Kershaw, who obviously, I worked with the one and only years ago, and Nick's been my kind of longest running co-writer and musical mentor. So, I love he's always going to have a little touch in there along the way. And as I said, my brother is my drummer, so he's on the record too. And I just kind of, the making of this record was really just a bunch of merry mates, really, and we would just kind of get together and we did it just for ourselves, really, more than anything else. And I think that's why the energy of the record has this kind of free spirited kind of feel to it. And I'm kind of proud of that because now obviously when we released it and people seem to be kind of relating to it.
They will all across Europe as well, by the looks of things, for the fact that you're touring pretty much across Northern Europe for starters.
Yeah, that's I've got to think about the set list because that's only like just over a week away. So I'm off to Germany next week. So we'll see what happens there. I'll let you know.
Okay, well, I'm sure it'll work out absolutely wonderfully. And the back catalogue and all your music, all the links to everything via the website.
Yeah, if you want to come see me, tickets or buy the record on vinyl, cassette, or CD, would you believe? ChesneyHawkes.com. That's the galactic central point these days.
And the fact that cassette is how very much your career started, wasn't it? Because you were out there in the day of the single, I think it was called.
The singles, yeah, exactly, yeah. Well, vinyl and cassettes and CDs as well. Well, those were the three biggest platforms back then. So, but nowadays, obviously, most people stream. So I always say to people these days, because the music industry has changed so much, and if you like a band or you like an artist, don't just stream them. Go and buy their vinyls and go and see them live because that's the only way they're going to earn a living.
Absolutely. Well, you've got a special guest with you on the 20th. It is Laura Aston. The venue itself is the O2 Academy 2 in Birmingham. 7 o'clock is your doors. 7:30, I think the gig starts. And it will be an amazing evening of entertainment. That is guaranteed because it is Chesney Hawkes at the helm. It'll do the job. Thank you for joining us. Have a brilliant one.
Thank you so much for having me, Jason.
Swimathon has hit 40, and it's another chance to get in the pool and raise some brilliant funds for charity. To tell us how we can do that and why, I'm joined now by Duncan Goodhue, MBE, Swimathon president, and of course 1980 Olympic gold medalist in the pool, and Michael Gunning, Swimathon supporter. Good afternoon to you both.
Afternoon. Afternoon. It's great to be with you.
Well, good to have you along, Duncan, again. And each year we like to have a bit of a chat about this amazing event. And first of all, how did you get on last year?
It was a great year. We're looking for this year, the 40th anniversary, the best ever. So really encouraging people to come along. 750,000 people have been taking part since it started 40 years ago. And they've done something incredible. They've raised £55 million for charity. So well done to everybody.
Absolutely. And there's always a wide number of very well-known faces in the pool. And competitive swimmer Michael Gunning, obviously presenter. You enjoy your time wearing your Speedo, swimming backwards and forwards. What's your record when it comes down to this sort of event?
Oh, well, I've not actually done this event. This is my very first time. It's really exciting to be involved in obviously the 40th anniversary. My butterfly was, or my event was the 200 butterfly. So I think it's really nice to see everyone just getting involved, everyone raising so much money for charity and just bringing people together. It is so
Mhm.
special.
The 200-meter butterfly is basically showing off, isn't it? That one's showing off.
Yeah, I was a taps and back man, 2 lengths and I was done. So 5,000 meters is a long way for me.
But I mean, people can choose what they do and how they do it with Swimathon, can't they? That's the important thing.
Yeah, I mean that was one of the idea was to have an event that encouraged people to use their local swimming pools because if you don't use them, you'll lose them, kind of thing. And so the event, you can be a part of a team, you can swim as an individual. So you select the challenge, and the team can be up to 5 people. And it's like Daniel was 5 years old, and I swam alongside him, and he swam 1 length. His parents swam 199 lengths. And
Teamwork
we've had
makes the dream work on this one, doesn't it?
yeah. And then you have teams of octogenarians. But what you'll find is that normal people in their own swimming pool, typically having a go at raising, really, really needed money, which is for Marie Curie and Cancer Research UK. And Marie Curie, as we know, is the leading kind of end of life care charity in the world. And cancer research, they're going to nail cancer, and every pound will get us to a point where nobody will suffer cancer.
Absolutely. Let's look forward to those times. Meanwhile, whilst we're journeying there, I mean, Michael, obviously we're raising funds for charity here, and it's all about getting into that pool, and there's huge health benefits as well, aren't there? So it's not only going to help future people's health, but our own health too.
Oh, absolutely. I think mental health is a big one. When you get into the water, you have to focus on getting from one side of the pool to the other side, which sounds easy, but it's really, you really have to get into that zone. So I think many people are doing it for lots of different reasons. Some health benefits, some are obviously doing it because they know someone who has gone through cancer, or they just want to come together as a group. I think there is so many friends and it's like a amazing sporting bubble. So I think, yeah, whether you swim 500 meters or 5,000 meters, there's a distance for everyone.
Absolutely. How do people get in touch, sign up, and become part of the 40th anniversary of the amazing event that is Swimathon?
Well, just go to swimathon.org and it gives you all the information, the pool near you. And finally, if you're a bit shy about going to an event and you're a bit nervous or you want to do it on your own, there's My Swimathon, which is any distance you like, any place you like in the world. So no excuses.
Can you include the bath in that one? Because I'm just about to do the length of that.
Yeah, that will do. We'll count that. You're
Okay,
you're down. You're signed up.
we'll see how it works out. Okay, that should be good. So, and what are the dates that it all officially takes place?
It's a weekend in March, isn't it?
Yes, it's the 20th to the 22nd of March. It's in the London Aquatic Centre, but obviously everyone can join in virtually as well. So if you can't make that weekend, you can still sign up, you can still log your results and still get your medal at the end of it. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely no excuses.
And
Yeah.
we've got 500 pools all around the country. So there's somewhere close to you that you can take part and be part of the Swimathon's 40th anniversary. It's
So,
fantastic.
well, we know that you both have gills, which helps with this particularly. Michael Gunning, Duncan, good to see you. MBE, thank you both for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Take care, Jason.
Luke and Laney brings an amazing night of country music to the Gatehouse Theatre in Stafford on the 5th of March. What else would you be doing on a Thursday night apart from having some amazing fun? Lee Brady is the man behind at least half of the music and he's here to tell me more. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
Now, explain a bit about the show because this is the wonderful music of two very specific acts, and you know how to bring this to life.
Luke Combs, Laney Wilson, two of America's hottest property at the moment in the country scene. Luke being the current highest selling country artist of all time. And yeah, it's just something we've put together over the last sort of 18 months. We've been doing these shows and we've been approached about adding a band and taking it out on the road. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Kay Molyneux is your partner in crime in the vocals front, but you say you've got a live band performing music with you as well.
Yeah. So it's a full live show. Yeah, full hit.
Full of hits and absolutely full of amazing country music. And this is at the forefront of the genre, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's all the absolute bangers of both artists. I mean, Luke Combs has currently got, so I think it's 16 or 17 US #1 hits. Like he's the biggest country artist out there at the moment. Obviously, he's coming over this year to tour again in the UK. Lainey Wilson last year, she featured on the C2C scene, made a big name for herself. And yeah, we've got an unbelievable following over here, which is great.
And obviously, this is music you love. How did you come to it? Were you introduced to it, or was it just a happenstance that you picked up on these amazing sounds?
So I've got such an eclectic taste of music, but I actually go out as a Meatloaf tribute. I feature in a touring theatre show called Heaven Can Wait, and I was doing some shows as Meatloaf, and then I was asked at a couple of venues to do sort of a second set as myself, if you like. So this is going back about nearly 2 years ago, and a couple of people approached me and say, "Do you know Luke Combs?" And I was going, at the time, I went, who? I went home, had a bit of a play. I've got a studio at home and downloaded some tracks I listened, and I just fell in love with the music. It's like country rock sort of crossover that he does. And I had a bit of a play at home, and the wife was sort of listening in the background, and she just went, "You sound like him, and you need to do that as a show." So that's sort of where it was from.
These things are meant to be sometimes, and it's like Luke has got this fantastic repertoire, isn't he? He's like country music's Ed Sheeran in some ways. I hope that's not an insult.
Yeah, he's got some great hits, and he's also done some fantastic collaborations with people as well. He's in fact he's actually done a duet with Ed Sheeran. So yeah.
It all works. Okay, and the music as well of Lainey Wilson, and the name Wilson just tells you it's going to be good before you, even if you don't know the artist themselves.
Yeah. So Laney's obviously featured by Kay Molyneux, who's been on the country scene for a long time. She actually goes out of as a very successful Dolly Parton tribute, possibly, in my opinion, probably the best in the country at doing Dolly Parton. And she just fancied doing something sort of to feature for a younger age, younger crowd. So it was a natural sort of progression, really, where we did a few gigs together where it was Luke Combs, she was Lainey Wilson, she was Dolly Parton, and we did a lot of festivals last year. And we just sort of said, right, why don't we put this with the band and do it as a sort of a double header, if you like. So yeah.
Sounds absolutely brilliant. It is taking place on the 5th of March. It's a Thursday night. Tickets are just £28 plus your booking fee. Gatehousetheatre.co.uk or the box office on 01785 619080. It'll be an amazing time. Lee, have a brilliant time out on the road with it. We look forward to seeing you in Stafford, your local gig to us, and it's going to be just an absolutely awesome night of country music, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Now, a year ago, a joint mission involving Castrol, innovative space startup at Lunar Outpost, and MIT Media Lab lifted off from Cape Canaveral aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9. Space is a fantastic place to get excited about. To tell us more about the whole project, I'm joined now by Chris Lockett, Senior Vice President at Castrol Technology. Good afternoon.
Yeah, hi, how you doing?
All good here. I hope we find you well.
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you.
There's a documentary looking at all of this with the Lunar Voyage 1 mission, landing at the lunar South Pole. Drive me to the moon. Tell me more about the directions we need.
This documentary was filmed over 2 years, and it's a behind-the-scenes look at the mission to take this rover to the lunar South Pole, as you mentioned. And it really looks at the technology, the science, the collaboration, the people, the passion and the emotion that goes behind making a mission like that come about. And it's available right now on Castrol's global YouTube channel. If you type in "Drive Me to the Moon," it gives you a really insightful behind the scenes look into a mission like this.
And what is involved? Because obviously the technology is somewhat different to driving a vehicle on Earth. The temperatures are different. So even if you've got a cold start with Castrol on your drive, it's a bit different to doing it on the lunar surface.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The conditions on the moon are much more extreme than what we see here on Earth. So particularly on the lunar South Pole, you get some very extreme temperatures. You get from very, very low temperatures to really, really high temperatures. And you've also got issues like very high vacuum conditions. You've got UV radiation, cosmic radiation. So therefore, we have to design a product that can operate as a lubricant in those extreme conditions, because the rover, when it's moving around the surface of the planet, it's got wheels with wheel bearings that need lubricating. It's got a robot arm that it will take pictures with a camera. It's got robotic arms which take samples and do analysis. And they've all got moving parts, metal to metal contact there. And therefore you have to lubricate them. Otherwise you get friction, you get wear, and ultimately the rover may not work. So we have to develop a chemistry that provides lubrication, but also operates in those really extreme conditions.
And now those who were around in the 70s remember being lunar vehicles back then that the astronauts were riding around on, and particularly with the Artemis program preparing to return astronauts to the surface. I take it they're going to be looking to you guys as well, I suppose, for lubricants for that.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been involved with the space industry for over 7 decades. So we provided lubricants for the original Apollo missions, the space shuttle program, the International Space Station, rovers that have been to the surface of Mars, and moving forward as we look to send humans back to the surface of the moon. We're actively involved with the space industry, and this particular mission was actually sending a rover to do some exploration on that lunar South Pole, because it's the reason the lunar South Pole is of such interest is because it could be a potential staging post for humans to use as a stopping place before going on and exploring further into the universe.
All of it a bit of a step from the Castrol GTX I put in my car.
Well, there is a connection, right? Because we are looking to lubricate and make mobility efficient, whether that's down here on Earth or up there on the moon. There are common things to it, right, in terms of what we're trying to achieve. It's just that the chemistry that we have to use is slightly different, but there are learnings that we can take from one and apply to the other. But they are. It's not exactly the same product. You're right.
But I'm going to guess, and I'm only guessing, you've probably got things like carbon in there as a graphene style lubricant to add to the liquids that are running around in these vessels.
Yeah, I can't reveal my secrets of what's in the secret recipe of our formulations, but there are some very unique chemistries that exist in the formulations that go into space, because they have to operate across such a wide temperature range. And also, I mentioned high vacuum, and what the issue with high vacuum is, because you can get something called off-gassing. And because of those you basically get evaporation of gas molecules coming off the lubricant because of those high vacuum conditions. And if you don't design it right, those gases can then condense on different parts of the rover, either causing issues or getting in the way of camera pictures, etc. So you have to design something that's very bespoke for space.
Well, it sounds like an amazing technology behind it all. So tell us again where we find out about the whole project and can watch this documentary.
Yeah, so if you go to Castrol's global YouTube channel and put in "Drive Me to the Moon," it's available right now.
Well, Chris Lockett, Senior Vice President for Castrol Technology, thank you for joining us.
It's great talking to you. Take care.
Come the 22nd of March, the Grand Theatre in Wolverhampton is playing host to Fogle Wild. He's heading out around the UK, and it's the final leg of his tour. Ben joins me now to tell us about what Wild is all about. How are you doing, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. And yourself?
All good here. So explain a little bit about this time on the road.
Yeah, so Wild, I have been taking to theatres for the last year all around the UK. It's been wildly popular beyond my wildest expectations, to be honest. Hit sellout tour, and we decided that we would do one final leg of the tour and visit the places we haven't had a chance to visit yet, of which Wolverhampton is one of them. And the tour itself is sort of a consolidation of all the adventures and journeys that I've been on over the last 25 years. So climbing Everest and rowing the Atlantic Ocean, but also taking the audience behind the scenes of my Channel 5 show, New Lives in the Wild, and trying to kind of piece it all together into something meaningful and uplifting.
And you've been to some absolutely amazing, inspiring and sort of moving places, haven't you?
I have. I've been really lucky to have some really extraordinary, life-changing encounters with people. But also, I've really pushed myself with some extraordinary challenges. So the show sort of begins, I suppose, where I started my career, which is when I was marooned on an uninhabited island in the Outer Hebrides for a whole year as part of a TV experiment, one of the first reality shows. And then we kind of romp through some of the bigger adventures that I've done, like trekking to the South Pole, rowing across the Atlantic Ocean. And then it sort of concludes with some of the encounters that I've had with people. The hardest thing, to be honest, Jason, was how to narrow down which stories to share, because it's a 2-hour stage show. I didn't want to leave people feeling bored to tears. So I wanted to keep it tight and moving, I suppose, is how I would describe it.
Absolutely. And when you look at the fact you've been to the likes of Chernobyl and a town that is now really part of history, but still part of the present day with this ongoing situation with Ukraine, and yet somewhere which it's so dangerous to visit for a number of different reasons.
Chernobyl was fascinating because a lot of the journeys that I do and lots of this show are all about rewilding. Rewilding ourselves, rewilding our habitats. And the Chernobyl example was extraordinary because here is an area, the Chernobyl exclusion zone, which has been out of bounds to humans for the best part of 30 or 40 years. And in the absence of humans, huge amounts of wildlife, flora and fauna have returned. So it's actually a fascinating template that was then upended after I made my first documentary out there when Russia invaded and sowed all these landmines, and have now made it an inaccessible location once again. So it's kind of fascinating layers on layers with lots of the places that I visit and how we humans have impacted, often negatively, but sometimes positively, on the landscapes that we inhabit.
But you still share stories of hope, don't you? I mean, this is a way in which you've begun to understand yourself more because of where you visited and the interactions you've had there that allows us to look in a positive way too.
Absolutely. I think so much of the environmental storytelling we hear now is finger wagging. People don't like to be told off. People don't like to be told how to live their lives. And I certainly don't do that in this show. But what I do is I give people solutions, and I show examples of what has happened elsewhere, how other people have chosen to live a more sustainable, softer life. And I think that's why I would describe it as a very hopeful show.
Mm-hmm. And odd things in your life, the places you've visited have made a mark, even down to meeting your wife in the park.
Yeah, I met my wife, Marina, when we were both walking our dogs in a park in central London. So I love the fact that the outdoors in all her costumes, whether it's an inner city park or whether it's a big, wild, remote landscape, can really change us. And I think a lot of people are struggling with their mental health. They're struggling with the pressures of modern life. And I've seen the solution. I see it on every week on New Lives in the Wild when I go to visit people who have simplified their lives and have gone to live a lifestyle much closer to nature, much closer to probably how we are supposed to live. And that's what I try to bring to the stage, because I get asked all the time how people can do the same themselves. And that's sort of what I do in my tour Wild.
And in some ways, you've become a little closer to nature with a recent TV appearance as well.
I assume you're talking about sloths here.
Absolutely.
And for your listeners who aren't sure what you're talking about, I have been appearing for the last 6 weeks, hiding in plain sight on The Masked Singer, and I lost out at the weekend, was voted off, and had to be unmasked, which was slightly terrifying. But it was a bonkers, crazy, joyful experience would be the best way to describe it.
And how does that measure up with some of the things you've done in the rest of the world? It must be up there with the adrenaline for certain.
Oh, yes, for sure. Climbing Everest and standing on a stage dressed in a pink tutu as a sloth singing on primetime TV are, in one hand, completely different, but on the other, they definitely test you and challenge you in different ways. And I think I'll probably be bringing a little bit of sloth to Wolverhampton on March the 22nd. I think I'm going to have to sing one of my songs. We All Stand Together, the frog chorus at the end.
Absolute classic.
If everyone asks politely, I think I'm going to have to do it.
I think there'll be an absolute need for that. That's going to go down particularly well. It's one of my favourite tunes as well, but there you go. And yeah, one of Paul McCartney's amazing classics. Nothird.co.uk is where you can get your tickets. 01902 429212 is a Grand Theatre's box office number, or grandtheatre.co.uk if you want to take that route. It is Ben Fogle Wild on the 22nd of March. Ben, great to speak to you. Keep having amazing adventures and sharing them with the world. Thank you for joining us, and may many of your travels be ongoing and happy.
Thank you so much for having me on your show, Jason.
That's all for this week. Thank you so much for joining me back with episode 870 next week. I'll see you then. Ta-ra for now.
Goodbye from the milk bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar. Yeah.